Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. I hope everyone is having a lovely weekend. I hope you had a great week. So we are still celebrating Book Chat's third anniversary, and we are revisiting some of the guests that I had on the show from last year and from earlier this year. So today we're going to be speaking with author Wendy Noll. I so enjoyed the interview that I had with her back in November, and we talked about her book, Ashes to Beauty. And so today we're going to catch up with Wendy and talk about Ashes to Beauty a little bit, and then about anything new that is going on in her author process or book process right now. So without further delay, good morning, Wendy.
Good morning, Vivian. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
It's glad to hear with so much going on in the world today. I mean, 2020, it's just been unbelievable.
Right?
Oh my goodness. So are you still shut in from from this pandemic?
No, I'm not. Not anymore.
Okay.
But it's definitely had an effect on my book for sure.
Oh yes. Oh, most definitely. I feel that pain too. But still, we have to persevere and keep moving forward. So let's talk about Wendy Noll for just a second, because we want to talk about your background a little bit, and then we'll get into Ashes and Beauty.
Sure. Oh, you want to know about okay.
It's on you.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
God, about 20 years ago, God started to prompt me and nudge me gently to think about putting a book together. And I actually met an author, through a treatment center for addiction. And, so he gave me some hints on how to navigate and, start the process. And, I don't know, I was just full of fear, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. So 20 years later, I picked it up again, because when God's birthing something in you, in my experience, it just won't go away.
That's right.
Yeah, like a baby. It's got to come out of you eventually.
Oh, yes.
So I come from a life of trauma and horrific abuse and violence and addiction, and my book, I just really felt like it would be a healing journey for me to write it, but also I just felt a call to get it to the nations, to help other women, even men, but the primary audience is women.
Well, that's what makes your story so unique, because of your past, and how, I just love that title, Ashes to Beauty, because a lot of times people don't know what you've gone through, because you look fine on the outside, but they don't know what you've been through, on this journey to reach where you are now, and to be able to talk about it and to share that, to inspire others to know that, whatever you go through, whatever was in your past, whatever you've been through, whatever you look like now may not show it, but still you can inspire others to let them know that, they can find strength in past, whatever, complications or situations that they've experienced in their life. They can use it as a strength. So I love that about you and about your story.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So let's talk about Ashes to Beauty for a little bit. Let's talk about that book. So we know how this book was birthed. So now let's talk about a few things that it involved.
Well, the like it says in the Word, God's Word says the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And so, when I finally had enough nudging and decided, okay, I'm going to finish this book, I finished it. I met my spiritual mother, and God really used her to motivate me. She had already published 4 books, and her name's Michelle, and so she really was instrumental in motivating me to finish. And she connected me, to different publishers, and we did a writing group together and so on with other authors. And so I met my publisher, Essence Publisher, and, we started that process. Well, that's when it gets interesting, because the enemy has attempted to hinder the release of this, like, so many times. The publisher said first time ever in their history, when Ashes to Beauty was going to press, every press in the plant broke down.
Oh, wow.
And so then just after that, and things, I pick up the book and things get rolling. I got book signings, I've got speaking engagements, and all of a sudden COVID hits.
Yes.
So, despite these hindrances, God has released, like, he's gotten copies of this all throughout the States and abroad.
Yes.
I've had requests from California, Florida, Texas, North, South Carolina, like all throughout the U.S., even in Africa and Australia, and all throughout Canada. So, I've just been, it's been like a trickle, right? But I really feel strongly that, people that are suffering from addictions and mental health are really suffering through COVID, and I feel like this book is still God's gonna pour it out.
Yes.
Really soon. It's funny that you connected with me now, because I really feel like it's ready. The dam's ready to break.
All right.
Yeah, like I really, really believe there's so many things starting to happen, and like I've got goosebumps all over me right now.
Oh,
and
wow.
God is moving.
Yes. And I love that, no matter what, whenever God has a plan for your life, and he has a word or a message that he wants to be put out to reach others, there is nothing that can stop it. There is nothing that can contain it. So,
Well, it's always his timing, right?
It is.
I don't understand. His ways are not my ways.
No.
My ways aren't his ways. And,
Right.
I'm like, okay, God, well, I just got to, like, I'm just starting a study in Job again. And it's like, I just got to trust him no matter what.
Yes. And I think that is the most important part of having a relationship with God, is that you have to trust him. We have to learn how to trust him more, to step back and let him do, because no matter how much we push, no matter how much we want things to be when we want them to be, like you said, it's all in God's time. And so we have to wait for his timing, because when we get in the way, sometimes we block our own blessings. So if we just let his will be done, it will be done. And so I think that is why this book is persevering no matter what, no matter what life has brought us. There's a word that needs to be shared, and I love it. We talked about this back in November about the book, and how it touched me. The title, for one thing, Ashes to Beauty, because it means so much. People sometimes, they just don't understand. They just don't know all of the things that you experience, on a daily basis, or just in life in general. And to have someone, put all of those worries, those fears, those trials into words, it is so inspirational. And I believe from my heart that is one reason why God wants this book, this message, to be shared with others. Because right now we need some inspiration. We really do. With everything that's going on in the world. And I thank you for being able to not give up, to actually write the book, and it's far reaching everywhere, like you said, all the way to Africa and places like that. So that tells me that God is in this plan.
Yeah. And it's already finished, isn't it?
Yes.
It's done. Jesus came to overcome. He's going to overcome all of it.
Yes, yes, and yes, he will. Yes, he will. But so we know about Ashes to Beauty, and we know that that you worked on that, and now that that has been distributed, is there anything else new that you are currently in the works with?
Yes, there is actually.
Okay.
Through COVID,
Okay.
I was ordained.
Well, praise God for that.
it was a Zoom ordination, and so I don't, again, God's just, he's always had a sense of humor with me.
Yes.
I don't have a clue why there was this pressing urgency, almost like the birthing of the book, to, go through this ordination, but it is. And actually next Friday we're doing a church without walls in the yard kind of thing, just ministering to my Bible study group, and that's starting to grow. We're actually, God's putting together a worship.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
It's just, I don't know where it's going to go, but when you just get that feeling
Yes.
like something's coming.
Yes.
And people keep prophesying over my husband and I, saying, you guys are getting ready, get ready, because you're going somewhere.
Yes.
There's a ministry being birthed here.
Yes.
And it's huge.
Yes. That's
And it's like, I just have this urgency. It's almost like a birth pang, Vivian. Like, there's so many people alone and isolated and lost.
Yes. Yes.
And my heart is just aching.
Wow. And mine too. Because, sometimes it's when I know we're all in this together, we're all going through this, but sometimes we just focus on ourselves. But then when you stop one moment and think about everyone else, who are being affected by what's going on right now, and they need some inspiration too. And God has planted that seed, and now it's starting to grow. And he wants to make sure that word is shared with all of those people, who are experiencing everything that we've gone through and been resilient about. But there's so many other people, that are not so resilient, and they need that word. They need someone to inspire, to uplift them, and just so they can make it through that day. So, I admire you so much, and congratulations on being ordained, because that's important. That's another way, another outreach for you to touch people and to bring them into the fold. So, just thank God for you. Just thank God for you.
Thank you. And you too. It's your anniversary. That's exciting.
Yes. I'm 3 years. I am so excited. And so, it was back in July, but I was like, you know what? I think what I want to do is bring back some of the people, some of my guests who I've spoken with, over the past couple of years, and bring them back on the show to catch up, because, it's your anniversary too, because, you shared that with me. And so now I want to share it with everyone else. And, it's been a journey for me too, a journey that I didn't even realize, that I would be taking. It was an unexpected journey, but it's one that I have so enjoyed. And, and I hope that I can continue this journey, to see where it takes me, because I know that this is not the end, but it's just, it's a journey, and only God knows when that journey will be completed. But I wanted to reach out to all of my guests and to, have them back on. And you were one of my favorites, because you resonated in me. And I was just so thankful to finally have a guest like you on the show to talk about some of the things that, that we share. And that is our belief and our trust in God. So, you have been just a gem in my life. And I thank you so much for that. And I thank you for coming back on the show today, to talk about how God is using you and the trials of getting the book out there. But you can't stop God's plan. Whatever he has planned for you, no one else can stop it. So I just thank you so much for doing it, and for being so early in the day. That's
one of the benefits of not drinking and drugging anymore. I'm not early. And I remember what I did yesterday.
See, now you can talk about it, you can laugh about it, and that is one of the wonderful things about it. You've been through it, and now you can share that with everyone else. But I thank you for doing that and for coming on the show today. And I don't want to keep you for too long, so I appreciate you so much, because I know you probably have things to do today as well. So I won't hold you. Oh, go ahead.
That's okay.
Okay, so maybe we can catch up. Let me just ask this: do you have any more books that you plan to write?
Well, God's planted the title of the next book, but again, like the first one, I'm resisting.
Well, let me tell you that resisting will be futile. So you can't resist God's pull. Whatever He has planned for you to do, believe me, it will be done. But thank you so much for coming on today and for sharing your story. And I just hope that God continues to bless you in many ways, Wendy.
Thank you. You as well, Vivian.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye now.
God bless.
God bless you too.
Okay.
Bye-bye. All right, folks. So that was Wendy Noll. And she came on the show back in November of 2019. And I had such a lovely chat with her then and today as well. And just so blessed to know that God is blessing her and using her in so many different ways. And now that she's been ordained, now she can bless others with that gift. But before I let you go, I want to make sure that I share with you ways to keep in contact with the show, Book Chat. So, of course, the first one is through Spreaker, and that is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. You can follow me, like me on Facebook, and you can just type in my name, Vivian E. Moore, author. And also on Twitter and Instagram. On Twitter, it is God's Property 46. On Instagram, it's God's Property 51. You can also check out my website, and that is at https://vivianemore.com. And also, if you follow my blog, that is at https://vivianemore.blogspot.com. And if you want to listen to the show today, and if you don't have the Spreaker app, you can listen to it on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, YouTube, SoundCloud, and also iTunes. So those are all of the ways that you can listen to the show. And please like me. And thank you to all of the people who have been subscribing to Book Chat through my website. Thank you so very much for that. I appreciate you for listening to the show and for also going out there and subscribing to my show. So I appreciate you so very much. And for helping me reach this goal of 10,000. It's not too late. And each week we are increasing and getting closer to that goal. So I thank you so very much. And hopefully before the end of the year, maybe we will reach it. So I'm enthusiastic about it, and I want you to be enthusiastic about it as well. And also tomorrow is worship day. So I want you to make sure that you are attending some church service, whether you're doing via telephone or through live chats, or if you're in-house, just be safe. Make sure you wear your mask and make sure that you are socially distancing, because that is so important. And also remember to tell someone that you love them, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say that. So I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.